there are so many cryptocurrencies in the market at the moment. You have, in fact, you just hear some names and then you'd be like, is this one even also a token? Is this one also a bit a cryptocurrency? You hear names like Solana, or you hear names like Ada, Reef, Shiba, Hive.
Actually, there are more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies.
Okay, so what are there any going concerns or risk, or do you have any words?
Actually, there are great going concerns, because most of these tokens that come out, I would say 50% or 60% of them fail. Why? Because anyone can decide to make a cryptocurrency. It's something that you just create in a computer, an algorithm, right? So when you create that, you decide to scam people, and that's all. That token is gone. So people have to be worried about, in fact, everyone have to be worried about the tokens they invest in. Okay. You need to understand who are the people behind that project. You know, are these real people? Some even use fake people.
I will begin today's conversation taking our quote from Mohit Agadi. He is an author, entertainment journalist, independent film producer, and entrepreneur. He once said, "The very principles of economics suggest that scarcity, validity, and demand can transform anything, even a store of value, that's SOV. Such an event will happen only once in an era, and we are extremely fortunate to be witnessing the birth of a new type of SOV, the crypto." Okay, that's a very interesting one. But now let's take our second quote for today, and this one is coming from Olawale Daniel. He is a deep-hearted crypto investor and real estate entrepreneur. He once said, "A crypto is the true ritual if you know your babalawo, that's mentor, well enough." For those who does not know who babalawo means, I think it means mentor, and then some people will say maybe it means something ritual, but it's not always something ritual. Okay, so let's see what all of this quote relates to and how it correlates with what we will be discussing today. Warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We are reaching you from Captain's Television Studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now, a cryptocurrency or crypto is a digital currency designed to work as a medium of exchange through a computer network that is not reliant on any central authority, such as a government or bank, to uphold or maintain it. On the other hand, foreign exchange, that's Forex or FX, is the trading of one cryptocurrency for another. Now, foreign exchange transactions can take place on the foreign exchange market, also known as the Forex market. Now, the Forex market is the largest, most liquid market in the world, with over trillions of dollars changing hands every day. There is no centralized location. Rather, the Forex market is an electronic network of banks, brokers, institutions, and individual traders, mostly trading through brokers or banks. On the flip side, a non-fungible token is a non-interchangeable unit of data stored in a blockchain, a form of digital ledger that can be sold and traded. That doesn't make it any clearer, I'm sure, because I see some of you like looking at how. I know. So now that's why we have our guest. He is Yushua Shehu. He is an investment analyst. He is a real estate investor. He will help us to break it down in bits and pieces. That's still to come on the program. Do join us again. Glad to have you back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Captain's Television Studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, we have our guest. He is Yushua Shehu. He is an investment analyst. You're welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here today.
Great to have you over here. And now let's start by getting your thoughts. What do you term as the financial market, and how can Nigerians take advantage of the financial market?
Well, financial market, in a nutshell, is where financial instruments are being traded, such as equity, bonds, stocks, and currencies. And talking about how Nigerians could actually take advantage, is that we have two types of investors today. Normally, before, in years back, you need to be a sophisticated investor to play in this field. But today, with the advent of technology and the development of the market is accessible to even the normal layman, which is a retail investor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how can Nigerians take advantage of the financial market?
The capital market in Nigeria, which is the stock market in Nigeria, we have limited information and education. Nigerians do have that limitation to understand the liquidity that is in that market. So, and I feel before they can take advantage of that market, they have to educate themselves on how to partake in that market, because it's a developing market, and every single day we have gains in that market. So they need to get the adequate information on how to be a player in such market, because it's a very volatile market. If you're not well educated, well informed about how the market works, you might get burnt.
Getting burnt is what a lot of Nigerians will say they have gone through. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
so now, some people actually understand the financial market as just buying a foreign exchange, that's FX, and keeping it for a while, and then maybe later sell it. So now, for you, as an investment analyst, is there more to that? More to it?
Actually, it's way more than that, because currency is just part of the instruments in the financial market, trading currencies, which can either be on spot or on derivative, right? We have other financial instruments like bonds, we have equities, which are the stocks, right? So these are all opportunities, because if you look at taking Dangote stock, for example, the price of it last 10 years to the price of it today, which is around, I think Dangote cement is around 200 and something. So for the last 10 years, it was way below that. So those that had the understanding of the market the last 10 years, that took the advantage, today in much more profit. So I feel it's way more than currencies. And why I feel Nigerians are a bit conservative in trading the stocks is because they have less information, as I said earlier, and less knowledge about how the fundamental of stock trading is. So I feel if they understand, if the society get educated more on how to invest in stocks, other financial instruments like treasury bonds and the rest, there will be a lot of activities, because the market is all about volume. So, and Nigerians, we have a lot of population. So it's just about the education, getting into people's minds and understanding the fundamental of the business before they become active investors also in these financial instruments.
Okay, so now let's break it down a little bit and talk about the financial markets. Slightly help us distinguish between Forex, cryptocurrency, stock, and then commodity.
Commodity. Actually, Forex is known as foreign exchange. They have two ways they trade it, right? You can either be trading in a spot, which is the normal traditional way that we understand. That means I have my naira, you have your dollar, I give you my naira, you give me the dollar. So we have made a transaction. And
like the olden days trade by barter.
Just like, not actually like trade by barter, but having a different currency in exchange for another currency. That is what the foreign exchange means, right? So it's just like having the dollar like 4 years ago, which is around 360 or I think 200 and something, and today is around 570. So if you have been saving if your savings has been in dollar, you see you're going to make profit today if you change it, right? So that is kind of trading foreign exchange on spot. While other people that traded on derivatives through the OTC market, which is kind of a open market in the world, which is worth more than $6 trillion every single day. So we have active traders there. So in that kind of derivative trading, which is more volatile and more risky, people also, exchange, trading on that platform.
Right.
So and for For stocks,
cryptocurrencies and stock.
Well, we'll come to cryptocurrency.
Okay.
On stocks, stocks is just buying shares in companies, right? We have different stock exchange across the world. We have the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we have London Stock Exchange, we have New York Stock Exchange, which is one of the biggest in the world, and we have Indian Stock Exchange also. So trading actively in the stock market means buying a share in a company. So before you buy a share in a company, you need to understand the fundamental basis of that company. What is that company doing? Is the vision of that company something that is sustainable? Will they have disruption along the way? You need to understand even those behind the companies. Are they well motivated people, or are they people who are lazy? These are all the things you have to put in place. And owning a share of a company means that if that company is doing well, the share is actually doing well, and you're making money on that, right? So again, with the invent of technology, there will be a lot of tech stocks that are coming up, which are very hot. If you take example for Zoom, during Corona time, the stock market were crashing, and many people were, wailing that what should they do? Should they sell the stock? Should they buy the stock? But at that point, that disruption was happening, there are stocks that actually skyrocket. We have stocks like Zoom. Who know about Zoom? Zoom now being a daily equipment for almost all offices shows that the stocks will really perform during the COVID time. So this is just understanding the fundamental basis about it. It shows that in that time of problem, Zoom was a solution, and that was why the company did well. So when you're looking at being an active investor in the stock market, you need to understand the solution that company is bringing to society,
to the table. Okay.
Because when it's solving problem, then it means the company will be profitable. So that's the stock part. Coming to cryptocurrency again, even though it's yet to be legalized in Nigeria, cryptocurrency is a topic of every day now, because they talk about it every single day, right? And for the past 10 years, we have never seen something that have gained, in percentage like the Bitcoin itself, which is the mother of cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency is, they say, it's solving a problem, right? And the problem it's solving is a problem of inflation, right? On a normal time, on a normal day, when there's no money in society, they can just decide to print money, right? But when it comes to cryptocurrency, you cannot decide to just print it,
okay.
right? So it means that it's limited, right? And it also solves the problem of counterfeiting. Right, you cannot make a payment with a fake Bitcoin. It has to be an original. But in society today, there are criminals who are making payments with fake currencies. So these are all the problems it's solving, right? So and problem of scarcity also. If you want to make a transaction, from one country to another, it might take you days. When it comes to cryptocurrency, in seconds, it's gone, right? So these are all the problems Bitcoin itself is solving. Because why would Bitcoin gain? It's gaining because it's solving a problem.
So then that means you can make a large amount of payment in
seconds. Yeah, you can make a large amount of payment in seconds. It can be $1 billion. You can make that in seconds through Bitcoin. So these are all the problem that Bitcoin is solving, which the no traditional financial institution are yet to solve. They're also getting into blockchain, and that's why we have naira now in Nigeria. You can use that also to make payments, right, as fast as the Bitcoin, because it's on blockchain, right? When it comes to regulation also, people think about who will decide where my Bitcoin goes. So if I have a lot of digital currency backed by countries, they can decide to halt that currency, but no one can decide to stop Bitcoin today. Why? Because the owner also is kind of unanimous, right? People don't know him. So I feel the growth of the industry in just 10 years, growing from less than $1 billion industry to almost $2 trillion industry, shows that there's something interesting happening in that industry. And the idea to ban it is not, I feel it's not a good move, because if you ban it, you're losing opportunities, right? There are opportunities there. So the best way is to regulate it, right? Because when you decide to regulate it, you might have income taxes there. You might have taxes that company will also pay through, getting involved in that industry. So when you ban it, you completely lose that money that you have, that's supposed to come into that government banning it, right? So these are all, I feel this is my opinion, that banning is not a solution, but regulating is a better solution, so that it can be a win-win situation for both active investors and also, the government agencies as well.
Okay, so I hear you talk about regulating or not banning. Yes, we know that recently I saw a report where the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, said you cannot ban cryptocurrency, you can only regulate it.
Exactly.
So is it actually regulatable?
Yeah, actually it is. When if the government get to partner with all the exchanges, then definitely it will be regulatable, because these exchanges have details of all their active users, because you cannot be part of the exchange till you pass through a KYC, that is know your customer. So they know who is transacting business with this account. They know each and everybody account has a face. So when it comes to regulating, then it's left for the government to strike a good partnership with these exchanges, so that when a massive because what they're trying to stop is stuff like money laundering, trafficking, payments that go through that.
Is that even possible? Because during the protest, you hear things like they used it to launder money.
That is the disadvantage of it, because it's unanimous, right? You make transaction without a face. It's only the blockchain ID. Right. So, but when they do it on an exchanger, now that exchanger knows the wallet of that said person. So, if you make a transaction which is kind of too much, maybe it have a criminal paint in it, then they can talk to the government, or they can close the account. They can ban the account, or they can hold the account and put investigation on that. So, for the government to actually benefit in this regulation, then I feel they have to strike a partnership deal with all these renowned exchanges in the world, and that will be a starting point for them. It's going to be a long way, because regulating something that is anonymous, it's quite hard, right? So, but just recently, the federal, I think the FBI has busted someone that hacked almost $3 billion worth of Bitcoin stolen from an exchanger. So for them to actually arrest those people, it shows that it's not completely anonymous.
It can even be traceable.
Yeah, it's traceable. It means that no matter what happened, it might just take time. But if you're using it for criminal activity, it might just take time, but you're still going to get caught.
Okay.
So it shows that this just shows them that means there's a roadmap that we can actually regulate this and make it a safe environment for both active investors and filtering the criminals out of the industry. Yeah.
Okay, so now with this financial market, what are the risks involved in them?
Well, the first law in investment is that you don't invest funds you can afford to lose, right? So if you're making an investment in a financial instrument, you don't invest funds that when you lose, you become uncomfortable. That is the law. So you make investment with surplus. When you're making investment in the financial market, that means you're buying a financial instrument. This is different from investments in sports. Investment in sport, like buying a piece of land, real estate, active trading, or buying and selling commodities. That's on spot market. Is different from buying those instruments on the financial market. So I feel the risk involves that if you don't have the knowledge of what you're getting into, already you've put yourself in a bad shoe, because why should I do something I don't understand? One of my role model that I look up to, Warren Buffett, he has been one of the famous investors of this time, I'll say, and seen as one of the greatest investors as well. And all the Bitcoin, hype and everything for the past 10 years, he didn't invest a dime. There's someone that can invest a surplus amount of money in it, but he didn't invest a dime. And he was asked why. He said he doesn't understand it. So it is the greatest investor on earth. Right? That's what made him great, because he invests in things he understands. So if you want to, play in an industry that you don't understand, the first step is to get the knowledge, right? When you get the knowledge, when you understand how it works before you make an investment. And now the risks involved is that depending on the markets you're investing. Now, if you're investing in, let's say, the currency market, let's use our local currency, for example. The time, I think dollar hiked to in the black market, it hiked to almost 580. So imagine someone who is not a professional investor now running helter-skelter to buy dollar at 580, thinking it's going to hit 600 or 610 by January, and he stacked them a lot.
Even
and
some people thought 1,000.
Exactly, and now it went down to almost, I think, 565, 570. So you can see they're holding on losses, right? So it means that you need to understand the fundamental of why you're making an investment, and the risky part is the volatility.
Okay.
Right, nothing is guaranteed actually, it's the volatility. So and when you're playing in the stock market, when you own a stock, depending on the price you buy it. Now, if it's a professional investor, they might know how to protect their position by using options and the rest. So, but if you just buy a stock just like that, and that stock did not actually go above the price you buy, it goes below the price you buy, that is your loss.
Oh,
you understand?
okay.
So these are all the risky part. You need to understand that it's a two-way movement,
okay.
right? But value investors that look at an investment that, okay, I'm putting this investment for 5 to 10 years. The problems that we have in this country is that, in fact, sometimes it fascinates me when I meet some people who want to make investment, and they'll be like, what will I get tomorrow? What will I get tomorrow, right? That is a bad mentality when it comes to investment. That's kind of a Ponzi mentality. When it comes to investment, you have to look at long term.
Okay.
What if I sow my seed today, what will it be in 5 years? Right? Your investment is like a seed. I mean, have you ever seen a seed as big as me? The biggest seed in the world is not even up to my hand. But when you plant it, it germinates a lot of fruit, right? So it means that you plant your investment seed and see what it becomes in 5 years.
Okay.
Right? So if you practice value investment, most people that practice value investment, they hardly get attacked by the volatility. They hardly get worried by the volatility.
Okay.
So, and I think that's one of the risks involved when trading financial instruments, that the price you buy it might decline from that.
Okay, so I hear a lot of people, sorry to cut you in on there. I hear a lot of people say that Nigeria's naira, with the depreciation we see, this precipitous decline in our naira with compared to other global currencies, anyone that is keeping their money or either saving or investing in the naira, you're just running at a loss. How true is that?
Well, they cannot just justify that. Why? Because doesn't mean the naira is bad today, it won't be good tomorrow.
Okay.
Right. I feel all government agencies who are this is their main primary assignment, for them to ensure that our naira is getting better. I feel they're doing their best, because this is a global thing, right? Even the dollar itself is losing its value, because why will one Bitcoin be valued almost $30,000? It shows that the dollar also is losing its value, right? So this is a global thing that comes with inflation, because trying to take you back in 1970, the game of money has been changed. Before, your money can be backed by gold, but today your money can just be printed. It's not backed by gold anymore. So it shows that if we develop our economy, we might hit that promising price that we always wanted. Now, looking at where we're headed, we just need the team on that developing our economy to work hard to see that the economy is actually developing, the activity is circulating, and also ensuring that our foreign reserve is increasing, right? So because we might wake up one day and the naira you have might be of utmost value. Just as we wake up one day and it was devalued. You can wake up one day and you see its value. So if you say that you're saving your money in naira means you're heading into loss, you can justify that, because you don't know what the game plan is behind the scene for the naira, right? So I feel you should just make a decision that what is happening currently, I know that I should find a way to earn in dollars, but not to justify that my naira, because I'm holding on to it, I'm holding on to loss. No, it's not possible that way.
Okay, I get you. All right, so now I understand that in the financial market, stock, be it stock and cryptocurrency, commodities or Forex, there are traders and there are investors. So help us understand, what is the difference between and which is better?
Actually, both are investors, but one is known as an active investor, while the other one is known as a passive investor. Now, active investor is those are the people they know as just traders. That's day traders or maybe swing traders, people who take positions every day in the market, you know, to profit from it. That's they trade almost every single day. They are known as traders, but in the whole investment scheme, they are known as active investors. While those that they know as investors are called passive investors. These are people who make investment for the long time, you know, minimum at least 5 to 10 years. Right? They are also known as value investors. These are people who make investment, let's say in the stock, not because of what the technical part of the stock is saying, but because of the fundamental basis of that business. Right, so they make a value investment and see what it yields, you know, in 5 to 10 years.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about cryptocurrencies. Now, there are loads of reports that people who invested in cryptocurrency as of last year or before, that some people were able to cash out big time, while some other people were bleeding red because their monies were lost due to the drop in price of Bitcoin now, or Forex and other cryptos. So what exactly happened?
Actually, whatever goes up must come down, right? You know, whatever financial instrument that goes up must correct, right? Must come down. So, and you know, the issue is that the fundamental aspect that affected it from the start, you know, some were saying is because the China clamped down on miners. After that, it got to regain in November, and again we have Russia, you know, talking about maybe banning it, and now we have the Russian tension between Ukraine and Russia. But for me, I look at it as a roadmap of investment. When I look at it as a roadmap of investment, now what happened is that during COVID time, the interest rate of the United States was lowered to 0. That means you can borrow money and pay no interest on it. Now the game plan is to start hiking interest rate by March, which is next month. So normally on a traditional, on a normal market condition, when rates are about to be hiked, then all these risk assets, you know, they move the opposite way. So if it's going up before, it's now the interest rates are going to come up. So that means high net worth individuals, financial institutions, they're going to make their investments in those bonds that, you know, the Feds are going to release. So if interest rate is going to keep going up, then gold and kind of cryptocurrencies they have this correlation between them. So it means dollar is getting stronger while they depreciate. You understand? So this is the fundamental basis that I understand what is actually happening, right? Because of all these you know, fundamental stories that come up. But the roadmap of them hiking interest rates, now high net worth individuals and financial institutions are making a decision to redirect their investments to a more safer investment. You understand? So that is what is actually happening. Right. And for people who make who are, you know, being crying that I invest my money is down. I mean, when you make an investment based on your own opinion, anything that comes out of it, you take it like that, right? Before you make an investment, you have to consult people who are licensed for that, right? You have to consult people who are licensed for that information, so that they give you a more proper information. And I believe those who are having consultation from people who are actually licensed to give this information would have get the more appropriate investment advice from them. You understand? So, and for me, I've been in the crypto industry since 2015. So it's not that I joined during the hype and everything. And since 2015, 2016, 2017, we saw Bitcoin went high. Boom. And at that point, you know, few of me and my friends, we actually bought high. You know, but what happened? We had to wait for 4 to 3 years before actually break even. So we were in loss from 2017, 18, 19 till ending 2020 before we regain our value anymore, right? So this is because we believe in that. We believe in our investment. Some people actually believe in their investment. They just play the game of blame. You know, they want to blame so person because. So
is that why they say you should not attach emotions to it?
Exactly. In investment, you have no emotions in it. In investment, you have to keep your emotions because you can't control it. When you get worried, the market doesn't care. Just because I'm worried today, I'll lose my money. Bitcoin won't skyrocket because of my emotions. So you have to drop the emotions at the side. You have to make a decision based on fundamental basis, understanding where the market is heading to. And some people are just actually lazy to do that.
Okay. Okay, so now there are so many cryptocurrencies in the market at the moment. You have, in fact, you just hear some names and then you'd be like, is this one even also a token? Is this one also a bit a cryptocurrency? You hear names like Solana, or you hear names like Ada, Reef, Sheba, Hive.
Actually, there are more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies.
Okay, so what are there any going concerns or risk, or do you have any words?
Actually, there are great going concern, because most of these tokens that come out, I would say 50% or 60% of them fail. Why? Because anyone can decide to make a cryptocurrency. It's something that you just create in a computer, an algorithm, right? So when you create that, you decide to scam people, and that's all. That token is gone. So people have to be worried about, in fact, everyone have to be worried about the tokens you invest in. You need to understand who are the people behind that project. You know, are these real people? Some even use fake people. So you have to dive in depth to understand the fundamental basis of that crypto coin. Why should I invest my money in it? I mean, one of my mentors said, you shall forget all this cryptocurrency, just hold Bitcoin. That is what we know. You understand?
Okay.
Because most of these coins will go extinct. Why? Because the project that they're claiming they're going to do, if they don't achieve it, then that coin will definitely crash. And now there are stages for these coins. Some coins come out and just remain in the liquidity phase, which is like all this pancake swap liquidity phase, and they don't upgrade to the stronger exchanger. I won't say regulated exchanges, because they're not that much regulated. So which is like the Binance, the Qcoins, those are the major exchangers. So if a coin should get its level to that exchanger level, then it might be okay, this might be a good project. So but some of them don't even hit that level, and you see people rushing to put their money, just because one person made a lot of percentage on a coin doesn't mean you are going to make that.
Okay,
you understand? So and now some people would have take maybe 500 investments before even making that big. So you that are just starting, are you willing to pass through that
you could even get
process?
Your fingers burned.
Exactly. So they just have to educate themselves, understand, how do I know if this token is it's visible. They need to understand the white paper of that token. What are the team solving? What problem are they solving? Right? Some coins, they just get gains. They get gains because of their community, the society, because it's a game of supply and demand, right? So if a project is coming up, they're marketing it, they're hyping it, the supply is kicking in, then that coin will start rising in value regardless of market condition. So but what happened when the owner of the coin starts selling? If I own 10 billion worth of a coin that I'm marketing and people are also buying, and that coin should hit $1, for example, if I sell my 10 billion, that coin will go to less than a cent. Why? Because I hold the higher value of it.
But I've seen one particular quote from, I think it was from Warren Buffett, who says when the crypto starts selling, you should start buying.
I can't remember that quote.
Okay.
They just say you should buy the dip, but I'm not sure that is a good strategy.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we're due for a break. Let's go on this quick break, and when we return, we'll come back with more on the conversation. Don't move a muscle. Because you talked about the e-naira, now I saw a recent report from IMF describing the e-naira and other central bank digital currency as better and more visible and more potential compared to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I would say it's still a developing stage. Because I feel they're trying also to develop it to a better way. And why they think it's better is because it have a face, it have a regulation, right? Okay. And it's centralized, not decentralized. So and for the other crypto coins are decentralized, right? It means that if any transaction is going to pass through decentralized coins like the e-naira and other backed central bank coins, it have a process, right? It can be identified from who is coming to and who is going to, right? There's that kind of identification that they will, things like money laundering won't happen.
If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you've missed quite a lot because we've talked about everything cryptocurrency, financial market anyways. But then you can still join in the conversation as we still have our guest, Yushua Shehu. He is an investment analyst and he has told us a lot of things. Okay, before we went on that break, we've said quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now, but then there have been laws in the country against trading in crypto, and recently there was a clampdown on some account of crypto traders. So what is your take, and why do you still have a lot of people like you still cashing out in they're smiling to the banks in this business?
Actually, you didn't see my bank account, so you wouldn't consider me as cashing out, right? Okay. I'm here to discuss and educate, right? So, well, I feel there are growing concerns, as we said earlier, for them to actually halt or, ban the crypto trading, because many people get involved with lack of knowledge, and we as citizens, definitely the governments have to have this concern about what we do, because at the end of the day, when you lose your funds, you're going to the government agencies to complain. My funds got lost in this place. So they have to come out and make an announcement that we should stop this. And I think people should actually understand the reasons that they tell them to stop this is because of their own interests, right? Okay. So that they won't be making poor decisions with the hard-earned money, right? So, but since it looks like impossible for people to actually stop it, they keep getting themselves involved. Then I feel the government should regulate it in such a way that they will have access, they will have access to people who are actually trading in these exchanges, and partner with the exchanges and how to make it more convenient for both investors. Because I know people will say, okay, yeah, it's my money, I make decisions, I make the decisions I want with my money. But what decisions do you make when your money is not there? You start going to people that told you not to do that, right? So they have to understand that the decision made is for their own interest also. But if it looks like it's not possible to hold that or to ban it, then regulations should kick in, right?
So what kind of regulations are you looking at?
Like a government partnering with the exchanges. When they partner with them, that means they can have audited transaction from that region, submitted to the government. So and they should make these exchanges have a kind of pre-class investment, class, like pre-investment class before actually approving accounts. So that means if I own an exchanger, before I approve anybody account, I should ensure they pass through this class to understand the whole concept of what they're getting involved and how to get involved in it safely. So when they pass that class, then they can approve that account. All these are, I think, blueprints that can help, because if it seems that it can not be regulated, then that means they should try another possible way out.
Okay, so now before we started, we talked about people who got their fingers burnt, especially with regards to stock those years, when you had a lot of people who got their fingers burnt badly. So I'm going to ask you two questions, and I would like you to take them in one breath. Now, you have people who are still concerned about going into investment if maybe because of the risk factor, they don't want their Nigerians these days, everybody is interested in what happens to 1 cent of their naira. So is it something, is the financial market, looking from your professional lens or advice, is it something that anyone can go into and then just take your emotions away, but you will still cash in sometime later, not now? That's one. And then we saw that recently, maybe because of due to the devaluation of our naira, the precipitous decline of our naira with regards to other currencies. Now, a lot of people are now edging our naira against the USDT. Do you think that's a sustainable investment?
Actually, coming to the first question that you asked me, that people have got bonds and they don't want to, they're scared to make this investment. Actually, if you don't make an investment for yourself, then what will sustain you after you have no strength? That is more risky than not making an investment. today you have a strength. In the next 30 years, 40 years, you don't have that strength. What will sustain you? You want to see yourself as someone going from office to office or house to house, trying to get something to sustain your life. That is more risky than you risking your money today, for a fruitful future. So
like I say, it's riskier not to take risk.
It's more riskier, exactly. How that code is perfect. So it's better when you have the strength, when you have the funds to make investment, you consult licensed financial advisors to give you an investment advice or package on the kind of investment that you will make in the course, because depending on the level you are in life, depending on the kind of investment you make. Now you see people who are within their 20s to, let's say, late 30s can make investments in kind of stocks and other financial instruments like bonds, but people who are above 40 to their 60s, they can make investments in those kind of risky investments. They rather look at investment in like kind of real estate of the like, right? So I feel, just as you said, making not an investment because you've get bonds and thinking you should just rely on your saving, then it's more riskier than actually making that investment today for the future. So and coming to the second question, you talked about
people now, because of the maybe I think because of the devaluation of our naira, a lot of people now edge our naira
to USDT. Actually, USDT, also known as Theta, is kind of a stable coin. This is like e-naira. Okay. You understand? So it's just that the difference between e-naira and USDT is that e-naira is being regulated by a government, while USDT is regulated by a corporation, right, known as Theta. So if you save your money in USDT, as long as Theta corporation is still existing, then your money is safe.
Oh, okay.
And as long you understand, because they had a lot of there are a lot of articles coming up, and that I want to talk about that. But people need to understand also the risks of you investing in Theta. And USD doesn't mean, the USDT doesn't mean it's only you can only change it to naira. No, you can change it to any currency, right? You can change it to pounds, to euros, to dirham, any currency. So it's just a stable coin on the digital market that that doesn't get affected by fluctuation. Okay. Just like Bitcoin can drop from, wipe $1,000 today, USDT is a stable coin. So if you have 100 USDT, which is equivalent to 100 USD, you have that. It doesn't change. So, and that's why people feel, it's comfortable for them to change it, but they think it's safe. What if your money is in USDT? You bought it at 575 per USDT, right? And a development come into Nigeria, and today our dollar is 400. Naira to dollar becomes 350. So the loss is on you. You've lost that amount. So each part, there's no any guarantees that yes, it's safe here. In any economy, in any kind of financial instrument, anything can happen anytime. Development can kick in at any time.
Okay, because you talked about the e-naira. Now, I saw a recent report from IMF describing the e-naira and other central bank digital currency as better and more visible and more potential compared to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I would say it's still a developing stage. Still a developing stage, because I feel they're trying also to develop it to a better way. And why they think it's better is because it have a face, it have a regulation, right? Okay. And it's centralized, not decentralized. So, and for the other crypto coins are decentralized, right? It means that if any transaction is going to pass through decentralized coins like the e-naira and other backed central bank coins, it have a process, right? It can be identified from who is coming to and who is going to, right? There's that kind of identification that they will, things like money laundering won't happen, right? So, but the other decentralized, it doesn't have a face, right? They can make transaction without knowing who made this transaction. They only know the ID. So, and that is why they said it is better, right? It's not that it's faster or anything, but it's all moving blockchain. Okay. It's just that it's centralized and the other one is decentralized. Okay. And why they say that also is that if you make a transaction today from one country to another, maybe you're a trader, you bought some goods, you make a payment. If you make a payment in Bitcoin and it goes into the hand of criminals, there's no way you can go and get your money back. So, but if you make a payment through naira or any back central bank, they know where your money goes to. So whatever happened, they can trace that and solve your problem for you. But when you do the other way, they can't solve your problem for you. So that is why they say it is better. And I also agree with them on that.
Okay, so now looking at seeing that some countries like El Salvador, like Paraguay, and maybe I think recently Ukraine have legalized cryptocurrency. Now, while some are still at the verge or still dilly-dallying on it, so what exactly is the fear evolved around cryptocurrencies, especially for developed countries and their central bank government? Why is it that at the mention of cryptocurrency, a lot of central banks and government begin to shiver?
Well, I would say far more, it depends on people also. It depends on the courage to take risks also. If you talk about the president of El Salvador, that one is a risk taker. I mean, he always keep buying the Bitcoin even though when it dipped. So, but I feel they are going concerned about citizens. Definitely, the government need to they need to be concerned about what will happen. You know, not what is happening. What will happen if it goes sideways, right? What will happen if it goes sideways? Now that they're going to increase interest rate next month, what will be the fate of assets like gold and Bitcoin? You know, most people won't understand the effect till that happen, right? So I feel it's not that they're saying they want to ban it. They're still doing their own due diligence on how to make it safe for their citizens. So countries who are still, you know, halting and making a decision, they're still working on how to make it a safe market for their citizens before they can say, okay, you can use this as a means of payment. Because if you make your reserve on these coins, I mean, these are man-made money. Bitcoin itself is the man-made money. It's man that created it. So if someone is making his storage on Bitcoin and the other person is making storage on gold, what happens when the power between Bitcoin and other maybe technology get affected? Only the man who owns the gold has the money. You understand? So these are all things they need to weigh before making a decision. It's actually not easy to stand up and decide a fate of more than, taking Nigeria example, 200 million plus people. So it's actually very hard to wake up and just decide the fate of them and deciding that, okay, this should be legalized, everyone should do. No, they have to make sure if there's a safe way the citizens have to play in it. So and yeah, I think countries who are already legalizing it, some might be doing it for the hype, some might be doing it to attract foreign investment or, you know, other citizens to come and live with them. But countries who are taking it slow are being concerned about their citizens first before they make this kind of open decision. Okay,
very quickly, let's divert a little bit and talk about NFTs. That's the non-fungible token. As we see that a lot of people are they're super hyped and pumped about this token from the foreign celebrities like Eminem. That's like my funnest fan. And then you have Snoop Dogg, you have even Jack Dorsey, you have Elon Musk, and even our Nigerian celebrities like Don Jazzy. A lot of them are not even left out. So what exactly is it about NFTs? Is that the new crude?
Well, non-fungible tokens, also known as NFTs, I know about it like a year ago, and you know, it's kind of creating an art piece, right, on a blockchain, meaning that art piece cannot be also counterfeited. When you have an art piece on NFT, also known, it can be used in the metaverse and the rest. You are the owner, right? It means that you cannot sell a fake of that art, right? It can only be transacted on the blockchain. You cannot make a fake. You cannot just use it anyhow. It means it have an owner, right? Okay. Just not like normal traditional art that someone can actually paint a fake or print a fake and decide to sell it anyhow. When it comes to NFT, it have that value. So that utility backed by that art, also known as NFTs, I feel is the value behind that art, right? And I know, many people might be hyped about it, but it's not as lucrative as it seems. Right? It might be just the value of ownership, that here I own this project, and a group of people who own that project are of high caliber, right? So, and every day these NFTs are coming different. You can just decide to sit down and draw something and make it an NFT. So now, if someone who is actually influential buy that NFT, has added value to that group of really? NFT.
So if I just put my autograph on something and then it's being hyped,
that's the deal breaker. It has a value that, okay, so person on this NFT, and that person is someone who's influential in the world. Some more people know about it. So that means that NFT might just be created 50. So it might just be 50 pieces, and many demands are coming in, many offers are coming in. So the floor price keep increasing, right? So, and
so who exactly determines the value of NFTs?
It's actually, I would say the value of NFT is determined by the utility. That's how it's being utilized, right? Some NFT are being used as tickets to some massive, clubs. They're used as ticket. That means for you to be part of this club, you must own this NFT. So when you own this NFT, you have access to some discounts, you have access to, some exclusive deals. So all these are the utility depending on what the NFT is. And many people just have to be careful with that, because 40% or I'll say 50% of it are being played like a rug pull. Rug pull simply means that they hype this NFT and the owners decide to now sell it, and it doesn't have that hype anymore, and the price keep dropping. You understand? So you need to understand whether are you minting or are you buying. People who mint, that is buying at the time it's being created, make more money than people who buy and think, well, let me hold it for the rest of the time.
So now I saw a particular JPEG that was recently sold for an impulsive and outrageous amount. I think it was sold for $23 US dollars, and shocking as I saw it. Is that actually a ringer that NFTs are maturing and they might have that they've come to stay?
Well, there are NFTs that have been sold for millions of dollars.
I think it was $23 million US dollars.
I've seen NFTs that have been sold for millions of dollars. And the reason is because one that I studied is that that NFT, I think the guy bought it like 4 years ago. This is where people don't even know what NFT is. So he just held to it. And people who kept buying that NFT are influential people. And it's at that time, I think the floor price of that NFT was like close to $500,000. So, and his own was really cool, and he got an offer. The difference between selling and listing, that's what people don't understand. You can buy an NFT today, you can buy it $1,000 and decide to list it for $50,000, but it's yet to be sold. You just list it there, you understand? So, but people who get offers for that kind of amount of money and they decide to sell, it's just to satisfy the taste of ownership, the taste of ownership, because that NFT is limited, and I got a best deal. So I decided to buy it. When I own it, I have access to the utility of that NFT. So but people need to know also that it is centralized between the whole crypto space. Meaning when Bitcoin is not doing well, they can have this correlation between Bitcoins and other crypto assets, including those in the metaverse like the NFTs and the rest.
So like in a few seconds, as you who is an investment analyst and then grounded in this business, so for someone who is looking for alternative sources of income and they want to go into online investment, what will be your own advice? Which of them will be better to pick? Is it cryptocurrency or Forex or stock or commodity? What's it for you?
Actually, I'll say the knowledge first. The knowledge first, because I mean, you cannot be an accountant without studying accounting. You cannot be a doctor without studying doctor. But when it comes to all this kind of investments, everybody feels they can become that without passing through the process of understanding that. So I feel before you get your hands involved in all of this class of investments, you have to understand how it works. You should get yourself educated by people who are well educated in the industry, and ensure that you are following the right track. Because when you have a mentor in this industry, things will get easier for
So you need a mentor.
Exactly, you need a mentor, or you need a community. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time with us, Yushua Shehu. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
It's my pleasure.
All right, we have been chatting with Yushua Shehu. He is an investment analyst, and it's been a wonderful time. I'm sure you must have been entertained, you must have been informed and rightly educated. I will definitely see you next time. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabelle Oji. God bless Nigeria.